A little intro before the video starts. I just want to show this new Glock 26 Generation 3. This is Ron's gun. I don't know if you guys remember IBS Ron. We kid around with him. We call him IBS Ron. He don't even have IBS, but that's the name he's getting. So Ron, your name is IBS Ron. Irritable Bowel Syndrome. OCD bastard. Anyway, Ron was very impressed with the stippled Glock 19 that I did. So he asked me if I would stipple his Glock 26. So I'm not going to do a stippling video. Maybe later we'll do a full one after I think I'm good enough to show you what I do. But he seems to think that the work's good enough for his gun. So I'm just going to show you a before and after shot. So there's the Glock 26 before, and then I'm going to show you the after shot, everything I did to it. And another awesome flashlight from Thrunite. This one's really a lot different than the other ones I showed. This one's really cool. It's like two flashlights in one. It takes AA batteries. It either could take two AA batteries or one, depending on the size you want to make it. So it's really cool. Alright guys, I'll talk to you in a minute. Alright, there is the after shot of Ron's new Glock 26. We stippled the side. He didn't want the circle, he wanted a whole panel done. So I just drew up a panel, and that's that side, and also stippled the support hand where you rest your thumb in the front. Okay, and here is the other side with just one single Glock panel is done. Pretty happy with that. This one came out a little better than mine because I got a lot more practice. Ron's is a lot straighter looking than the first one I did. Okay, and then there is the front serrations there. There is the trigger guard. Ron, there's your trigger guard with some traction under the trigger guard. What I did under the trigger guard is I stippled it, but I stippled it with a lot less aggressive, because that is on a tender part of your finger, but it will give you traction at the same time. So I didn't stipple it too aggressive, and also did a trigger guard undercut for Ron. Ron's a big fan of the trigger guard undercut. I'm not sure if I like it yet. I got to shoot a gun a while before I do that to mine. But I just dremeled it out and then wrapped 2000 grit sandpaper around a pencil and just polished the shit out of it, man. So that actually came out a lot better than I thought it would. The undercut, that's the first time I ever did an undercut. It looks pretty even all the way across, so I'm pretty happy with that. And there is, of course, the back stippling. And that's it, Ron, your gun's done. I hope you're happy with it, and thanks for letting me get experience on your beautiful firearm. I just want to show you this this new Thrunite Flashlight. It's called the Neutron 2A. Because it takes two AA batteries. I guess that's why they call it the True A. Before I start this video, these lights are really nice for the money. It's just great. They're high quality, and you don't have to spend a ton of money on them. So this is one of their newer models. It's something a little different. Wait, let me turn my cell phone down again because I just know it's just gonna friggin' happen. Okay. What's cool about this light is it's a little different than the other lights. The way you control it is it's all black. As you can see, it's got a nice rubberized silver switch there. It says their logo right there. Really pretty little flashlight. And this one is the Neutron 2A V2, as you can see. And like I said, Thrunite sends me lights like once a month. Once a month you'll see, or once every 2 months, you'll see a new light from Thrunite, a new model, and I will show it to you. And like I told you in a couple videos in past dates, it helps my channel. They throw me a little bone for showing their product. And the reason why I don't mind showing it is because they're not a lot of money and they're really good quality. So what's cool about this one is it could be, this is like 2 lights in one. So when you get the light, you get your box right here. I will put the links under the video, all the links under the video to the, and there's your instruction booklet here, Neutron 2AV2, and you get this little carry pouch. And now how it comes, because I already took it apart, of course they always give you extra O-rings for waterproofing. There's your little case, nice Velcro case, it's expandable, it's pretty sweet. What's cool about this is how the settings work. This particular light, you do is you push the button and you hold down to go through the settings. Like you push it down, hold it, and that's the first one. Push it down, hold it, that's the second one. Push it down, hold it, and that's the third one. Etc., etc. There's the fourth one. As you can see, their lights are super, super bright. I'd like to show you the beam in the dark, but I guess we could do it here. I like to compare it to another light, but I don't know what I got here. I have a Surefire light we can compare it to right here. This is another one of my favorite lights too. It's a really heavy duty, but if you we'll put them both on the highest setting. Now remember, one light's way over $100, and the other light, the Thrunite, is a fraction of that. Let's turn this out. Turn this out. Oh my God, we're in the dark. I'm glad Eric's not here. Okay, so the Thrunite light, we're going to put it on the brightest setting. As you can see, it's huge. Okay, so we'll move that over. The Thrunite is on this side. You can see it's extremely bright. I mean, you take these outside, they will light your whole yard up. This little tiny light. And we'll go this way, and we'll put on the Surefire. Okay, that's the Surefire's brightest setting is right there. That's it. Take it away. There's the Thrunite. I mean, it's not even close. There's Thrunite. There's the Surefire. Okay. Nothing against Surefire. I love their lights. They're super heavy duty, but the Thrunite definitely has them on the power. Okay. So hold the phone. Dim your light down. I like how that adjusts. Very cool. Lights back on. You need a lot of light when you make videos. You need all kinds of light. And I just wanted to show you that its strength. I never showed you its strength before. You know, I never did a little beam demo. And here's what's cool about this. Check this out. If the light's too big for you, say you want to use your light again, and it's too big for the clothes you got on or something. You want something a little more compact, or you're feeling a little. You want to feel small. You ever want to feel small? All right. Just take it apart like this. All right. There's your extender. You put the extender over there. Take the battery out. One less battery. Put this little stubby little bastard on there like that. This is probably how I'll keep it. I like things short and stubby. Nice solid feeling light, and look, half the size. Still has very, very powerful light. All the specs are on Thrunite's. You can find everything out about this. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and talk about all kinds of lumens and all this stuff, okay? Pretty cool, huh? So it goes from that size to this size in a split second, and it's AA batteries, so which is very convenient. So they do have a lot of lights that are AA batteries. They have lights that are 1, 2, 3s. I'm probably going to keep it in this form. Why it's in this form, I'll use the clip, and I will keep the spare extended sleeve in its pouch to protect it so it don't get all screwed up. I'll throw the battery in there with it, and I'll just keep it in the box. Okay, tuck that bad boy in there, and keep that put away. So let me know what you guys think of the Thrunite Neutron. It's pretty sweet, ain't it? Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you in this video, I don't want this video to be long, but I guess it's going to be long. This is nice. Now I'm going to keep this one, man. I'm going to keep it right here. Right next to my cock. My combat cock. Now, what I did was, I got a SIG M400 pistol length. You guys all seen it. The problem with it is, and the Colt also, but not as bad. The problem with it is, when you pull the trigger, it feels like you're dragging it across concrete. It's a horrible feels, and you can fix that very easily in a safe way. There's a lot of stuff going around on the internet that I've been seeing. They're saying, you know, you shouldn't polish an AR trigger and all that. You know what? Yeah, there's certain things you shouldn't polish and leave alone, but there's a little small thing you can do to improve the trigger at least by 40 to 50% as far as its smoothness. I'm not talking about making it lighter. I'm just talking about keeping the same poundage, but just making it feel like you're not pulling it across asphalt, and it should be like you're pulling it against glass. It's an easy way to do it, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we go. This is my Colt. It doesn't have a horrible trigger, but by no means it does not have a good trigger. So I want to do this one too. I just did the SIG, and it definitely improved the smoothness of the trigger by at least 40%. I'm not, 40 to 50%. Very, very impressive. Check my chamber. This Colt really has a nice action. I love this thing. So first thing you're going to do is check the chamber, make sure it's safe. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is I got one of these nylon punches so I don't mess up my gun. Is push these pins out here. So I like these punches because you can push them real hard and you still won't. If you slip off, you're not going to scratch up your finish or anything like that. So this Colt's always been a pain in the ass. There it goes. It's starting to loosen up now. So you just push them two pins in like that. Okay, you don't need the upper at all, so we're just going to get the upper with the beautiful aim point and lay it down over here on the ground. And all we need to do is work on the lower. Okay, I don't know if you can see what's going on because I don't have a cameraman. There's two pins here. Okay, there's your hammer pin and there's this pin. I don't know. I'm going to be like there's this and that because I'm not technically an AR dude, but you know I know a little bit. There's too much oil in there. Spike's tactical tungsten powder buffer in there. Pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is, the first one I'm going to do is take the hammer pin out, which is this one here, the first one. Okay. Now I don't know, it doesn't, you have to, yeah I guess it does have to be forward. So what I'm going to do is put my hand here, pull the trigger, and let it go forward without slamming and banging against the metal. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm pushing that pin out, I'm going to hold on to the top because this is under a lot of spring pressure. Now I'm going to look in there just for curiosity because this is only going to be the second one I'm doing. Make sure the springs are in the same way the other ones are. I'm sure they are. Yeah, they are. And they rest in them grooves. Always look everything over before you take them out. You'll see when you look in there where the springs are, how they're facing. It's very simple. So I'm going to put my finger on here and at the same time not be ready because I don't have a punch ready like a retard. Okay? Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to put my finger here and at the same time put a little pressure on this and push the hammer pin through. Okay. Okay, now sometimes you might have to give it a little tap. At the same time I got my finger on top of there just to help it out. You don't have to hit it hard. Just really easy. So I can already feel it trying to push up. So now I'm going to push down. So I got the pin out. Now I can pull this out. Okay, now this is going to come out. There it is. And there's your hammer. Now how it was in there was, if I could show you, it was in there like this. Okay? The spring looks like two forks like this. You press them and it goes in like this. Now the part that you're feeling the grid is right in this little notch right here. Now that's where you want to just smooth it out and polish it a little bit. I am not going to use a Dremel. I am not going to use aggressive sandpaper. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean it. And the most important thing is there's a sharp edge on there. You don't want to round that off. You want to keep that edge very, very square and very sharp. You just want to polish just the surface right there. So what I have is, because I'm always extra careful, 2000 grit sandpaper. Now some of you AR guys might say, you know, that's a little too smooth, but you know, I'd rather give it a few more strokes with smoother paper than overdo it and screw things up. So that has to be polished. Okay, there's my pin. Keep your pins on the spot where you can see them. Right on the Upper Darby police thing. I can see that. Okay, now the next one's going to come out is the trigger. Now the trigger has the disconnect on it. I'm not polishing the disconnect or anything like that, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get the punch and push this pin out. This one usually comes out a little easier. Yep, that just pushes right out. Okay, here's your other pin. They're both symmetrical. They're both the same exact size. So I don't know if it does. I don't think it matters if one goes in another hole, the other one goes in the other hole. They're both symmetrical. So now this is going to come out. Now some ARs, you might have to take out your safety switch and take the pistol grip off. I was able not to have to do that with the SIG. I'm going to see if I'll be able to get away with that with this one too. You might have to. I'm going to have to move it forward a little to get it out. Yeah, it's going. Well, there's your disconnect. I'm looking at the way it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And lay it down the face down because I'm not familiar with it. And I'm just going to try to get this out of here, if it will. It'll come out. You gotta kind of like swing it that way and get it out that way. See? And I did it without having to take off the pistol grip. I did switch this to this to help me get it out of the way because I think there's a flat spot on there. Alright, so that's less parts we have to deal with. Put that aside. Now, like I said, this video is getting long, so here's the other part I want to show you. Now you'll see where you have to polish. You'll see the mark it's making where it's gritty. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish the face of this. You can see it. Most importantly, that face right there, and just a little bit up there, just for because it's polished anyway. Pretty much anything that's machined and polished, I'm going to go over it again and just make it a little smoother. There you go. That's all I'm going to do. Polish that face right there and up on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a machine because I don't want to overdo it. As far as the gun going into full auto by overdoing something, I think that may be true with the disconnect, so I'm not even touching that, you know. I just want the trigger a little nicer. It doesn't have to be like, you know, snot on glass, as long as it's smooth. And right now it's far from smooth. So what I'm going to do is get some 2000 grit sandpaper and just hold it face down and just drag it like this. And I'll go in one direction. I don't want to go back and forth because the gunsmith that I seen do this was going in one direction. Oh, another thing, see this spring here? Don't lose that your disconnect sits on there. It's in there pretty good. It's stuck in there, but just remember that's there. You don't want to lose that. I'm just going to go in one direction. Now remember, this is 2000 grit sandpaper. It's very, very soft. It's going to buff it real glossy, and that's what we want. We don't want to round anything off or remove material. We just want to take the machine lines out of there, because that's what's causing the friction, is that fine edge dragging over the machine lines. So we want to get rid of those machine lines as much as we can. If we can't get rid of all of them, then who cares? It'll at least be better, and this will save you about $65. I had to, you know, buying a mil-spec polished trigger. You already have a mil-spec trigger, just polish it. Now I'm going to look at it again. Oh yeah, it looks great. Look at that. That took like no effort at all to do that. I suck with this camera. Wait, let me try it again. There you go. See that? That's how you want it looking. And I still got that nice sharp edge on there. You don't want to round that corner off, okay? Now the top, which you probably don't need much, I'll just The face of it is the most important part. I'm just smoothing this out just because in case something rubs on there I don't know about, that might help the trigger even be a little smoother. But as you can see, very safely using 2000 grit sandpaper, remember that. And I just smooth it out a little bit. Okay, that's done. Okay, this one's a little more trickier, but it's still simple to do, but I have a little technique. The trigger works like this. Man, if I can see. Does it? Figure out how the fucking thing works. Okay, here it is. Okay, the trigger works like this. It fits together like a puzzle. When you pull the trigger, it comes down and scratches against this little lip on here. So this little lip is very, very important. You have to polish that too. But it's hard to get anything in there because it's a little notch. But I have a little trick that I figured out. So what I want to do is tear a piece of here it is. Here's a, no, it's not a fresh piece. Let me get a fresh piece of 2000 grit sandpaper. Running out of sandpaper. Joey Meatballs, if you're watching, I need a piece of 2000 grit sandpaper. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Fuck off, Joey, I got a piece. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, how I want to sand that is, I hate using the word sand, I'd rather say polish and give people the wrong impression. Or frig is it? No. I got this scale, it's a little ruler, machine shop ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the 2000 grit sandpaper. You can use 1000 if you want, but I already did it and it worked with 2000, so if it works with less, use less. What I'm going to do is wrap some around there like that, right? And then, same thing, I'm just going to polish the flat part. I don't want to round any corners off. So this happens to just fit in there just right. And I'm just going to do is just pull it across. Wrong side, dummy. I'm going to have to go back and forth a little bit. But like I said, it's 2000. It's not going to do much. It's just cleaning shit up. Okay, here's the tricky part: is putting it back in. It really helps if you put this in a vise. So we're going to put the last part we took out back in, and we got to remember which way the springs go. I can't show you that. You're going to have to. You'll see when you take it out which way the springs go. So I'm going to maneuver this back in, put the pins back in, and then we're going to feel the trigger. All right, as you can see, I got it all back together. It's very simple. I should have did it on camera. Little tip. The first one, when you're putting in, you can pretty much do. But when you're putting this one in, the hammer, you really got to hold down hard and line up everything. It's really good to put your vise like right about here and put it in a, I have my vise has leather in it so it don't hurt it. Vise it right here and have the vise hold it for you so you can put all the tension. And you got to push down on here until you see that circle is perfect daylight all the way through, or you will be fighting that pin. If it ain't perfect daylight all the way through and you start hitting it in with a hammer, you're going to start mooring up the insides and the edges of the holes all the way through. You don't want to do that. That pin should just go right in very easily. You'll be able to get it halfway in with your thumb, and you should be able to get a mount and just give it real easy taps until you hear it snap. And that snap is the springs inside. The springs will fall right into the groove of a pin. That's what keeps the pins from walking out, and it keeps the springs locked in. Now, the trigger job's done. It's all installed. I'm going to give it a little function test. So what I'm going to do is, I could put it together first, but put my hand here and just feel the, shut up dog, feel the smoothness of it with a real nice slow pull. Yes, there is no grit at all. Again, really, really nice. So it still has the, whatever it is, 8 pound or whatever the frig it has, 7 pound pull. That didn't change. It's just smooth now. It's not rugged. Because when you're trying to sight in your gun, or you're trying to sight in your aim point, and you're trying to take a smooth shot, every time that you hit the rugged, the gun's going like this because you're moving the gun all over the place. It's hard to sight it in. That's pretty sweet, man. Looks good. Looks good. Make sure the safety works. fire, it's firing. Let's put it back together. And it's really that simple. You know what I mean? If you have an AR that has a gritty trigger and you just can't stand it, and every time you shoot it you're like, damn, I just wish that trigger was just a little smoother. There's a fast way to fix it without making it dangerous. My advice to you, because like I said, I'm not real experienced in doing it, when you go to test it, just put 2 rounds in the mag, you know what I'm saying? And just in case you do polish something you ain't supposed to, and it does do a little 3-round spurt on you or something, and it'll only be 2 rounds, you can control it. But I do not think that is going to happen, okay? Not with what we did. It's very minute polishing. So let's give it a full function test, okay? Full slide back, nothing in the chamber, we know that. Feel the trigger. Real nice. Now I can stay right on target with that now. Okay? Hold the trigger in. Make sure the trigger resets. And it does. Pull the trigger. Will it fire? Absolutely. Perfect. Check the safety again. Put it on safe. All's good. Fire. Nice smooth trigger now. Alright guys, enough is enough. I can't take my voice anymore. I know you guys can't either. That's it. Hope you liked the video. Take it easy.